I think if they play the same way, Tundra's just gonna run them down. Execration has to change something up, and maybe get more aggression out for Palos with Carlo in that lane. Like Undying plus Monkey King is a pretty aggressive lane to play with. You can try to get that early advantage going for yourself here, and you can just run down that Tide Hunter early on. There's a few caveats for Lina versus Monkey King. If Wukong's does go off, the bonus armor is pretty ridiculous. Like, you go for something, say, Echo Saber, BKB, and then maybe just work your way into... It sounds pretty ridiculous, but just go straight for, like, an AC. You're actually pretty okay against a Lina matchup. Like, her physical output is really fast right clicks, but with a lot of armor, you counteract that. Because per hit, it's not the biggest. She doesn't have the most ridiculous right clicks in the world. Like, not the highest base damage. So that is one way the Monkey King can keep up there.
Tundra, they're having a big wraparound here through that Radiant jungle. They'll have the high ground advantage. Someone runs up. Should be an easy kill. 9, he's going to see the Monkey King very soon. Skiter, though, he's the one to get caught out first. So maybe Execration can secure first blood. And it seems like they can. Skitter's going to try to run. Tino will be the one to take first blood here on the Visage. It seemed like they were trying to gift the kill over the Bob on the Pango. But Tino instead will take it on the Visage. And you know what? He probably deserves it anyway, John, considering the way that first game started for him. He needs the good start. Yeah,
he had an atrocious start, so just giving a bit of a bounce back for Tino, always good. Again, this is a hero he's played to great success. That Visage is something that we've seen Execration pull out, not just in the DPC, but outside as well, in different rosters where Tino was still on that off lane. So I don't mind that too much. Still a rather even trade on the bounties coming out here. Taking a look at that mid for Bob versus 9. We talked about it a little bit in the draft, but Tusk versus Pangolier, fairly even. It's not a lane that naturally favors one hero. It might be a little bit easier for Bob to play Harass with a Shield Crash and kind of get his gap distancing with a Swashbuckle as well. So you should have his work cut out for him, but you do have play here for 9 as well. Snowball's magical damage. You don't really care for the Shield Crash in most cases when you're harassing back. So you've always got the steady supply of damage and wave nuking for 9. Rune control is going to be the big one. Whether or not Execration tosses their heroes down for the 4-minute rune, even the 6-minute rune as well. Last game, they didn't really manage to do that. It was Tundra that was walking all over the place early on. So that's one more thing we have to see Execration kick up the pace in.
Certainly so. Top lane Skiter again on that Lina. Only 1 CS so far, so a bit of a slower start for the Lina. Just going to pull the wave over as this Shanks. He's done the exact same thing here for Tino. And this is the main difference I was kind of mentioning earlier during the draft is against the Phoenix, you're not really as bothered. The Sneyking, when he was playing that +5 Undying, it was much more able to just kind of break the distance and just really harass out Tino. But now, like, while he can still soak XP and be very annoying with the Fire Spirits to deny CS away, he can't really, like, really force Tino out of the lane. But he is annoying him, certainly, with this these Fire Spirits attack slow. Very, very annoying to try and CS with that. What are the side lanes? What's the other side lane doing right now? Go on, John.
He's just buying some space out right now. The side lane down bot is going pretty decently for Palos right now. Again, the lane matchup is very favorable. Tide against Monkey King. You really do just lay on to the Tide. You don't really care about the anchor smash attached production because you'll always have the Jingle up. And Carlo can always just soften up that target anyway. He still has 6 mangoes on hand, has a few charges on the magic stick. So he can't just harass in. Again, for Tundra, this is always going to be a slower lane. It's Tide Ricky. You can't really get too aggressive. You've got a really good body to stand forward now on the Undying for the side of A.K.A. And that just makes all the difference for Palos. Should have a smooth run up. Whether or not he goes for something like the Battle Fury, I don't think he'd want to, but we have seen Monkey Kings do that even against Alina. So I wouldn't be surprised if he felt inclined to play a farm game.
Yeah. For now, at least he's having a pretty good time. Tino dropping rather low on the Visage now, but still just fine. CSing a lot better than the last game around, that's for sure. We really haven't talked about the mid lane much at all either. Bob's been having a very good time in the Pangolier. 16-3 so far compared to the 15-0 of 9. So a very even kind of matchup here in this mid lane between the Pango and the Tusk. Doesn't seem like too much harassment has been traded between the two. They've just been focused on CS. Though as I say that, there is going to be a bit of a rolling here for 9. Bob's just going to jump to the low ground with a shield crash and be just fine. But it is one of those matchups between these two where it feels like both sides have a way of getting out if they do find themselves in danger. So chances are you are probably going to need to rely on some support rotations to actually get any kind of kill in this mid lane. For now though, again, they are just going to casually trade CS, it seems.
Yeah, just keep the farm game up. You are losing a lot more for Bob. Like, he is out of regen. 9 is a little bit better off just with this HP status right now. And again, it's just down to shield crash not blocking a lot of the Tusk's laning tools. So we'll always have a little bit of play. Early rotations out from Shanks, but the TPs are coming in as well.
Decent shards out. Snaking's going to try and capitalize, and in fact with the snowball, they've got enough damage. Bob will go down. 9 to pick up the kill on the Tusk, and with Tundra, they rotate at the perfect time, securing both water runes, securing a kill onto Bob. And Sneyking, I mean, he might die for this. Shanks will chase him down, and Sneyking actually goes for the fight. He's got a Fairy Fire, so he wants to try for this, and Shanks, he knows he can't get the kill with the Fire Spirit's attack slow. Maybe just afraid that 9 was around the corner, but 9, he was actually just securing the water runes. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Palos does end up finding 33 in the meantime. So the Monkey King does secure a very important kill here on the Tide Hunter. At least Palos still having a very good time on the MK.
Yeah, he's trying to cut the wave, you know, trying to double stack it up, and he does manage to do that. But you are giving a lot of gold out to Palos in the moment. You can't really harass out as a Ricky. So Palos is going to get the gains he wants here. You're not going to be able to contest the monkey. Still been a pretty free lane for Palos. And that build-up for the monkey, again, is going to be really important to get what he wants. Has the power treads up. Keen to see if Palos will go for something like the Battle Fury or something more aggressive early on. Maybe the Echo Saber coming through and just get active with his team. A much stronger start for Execration, I have to say. 2-1. Their lanes aren't looking that bad across the map. They're really even with 9 and Bob. No one feeding out on mid except for that one death for Bob, but he's not diving solo anymore and taking these massive risks. So you're feeling a lot more confident. 9 has to watch himself every now and again here as well.
Absolutely. 9 looks like he's going to back off to the base anyway. Well, maybe not. He's going to stay in the mid lane. Does have Saksa around the corner if he needs it. Saksa can't really do too much if 9 gets in trouble, but can try to help out as Palos finds 33 again. A nice kill here for the Monkey King as mid lane, a bit of a rush here for the Power Rune. Snowball's going to be up, trying to make sure the Rolling Thunder never comes out. Shanks is around the corner, does level up the Avalanche, and now maybe they can find 9, and they will. Saksa in the meantime, going to rush for that Power Rune. Does find the double damage for himself, but Bob at least kills off 9 the Tusk, and that seems like it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, you're finding kills on Bob, you're forcing some responses out, and when you free up that bot lane, Palos can play aggressive. Like, there's just nothing 33 can do as a Tide Hunter up against a Monkey King and in the dying. So every time he's left alone, he's just a sitting duck. Tino has a lot more play without having to worry about Undying poking him down. Skiter is still having a pretty decent time in that lane though, much more ahead in comparison to Tino, but he's not dying, he's not feeding, he's getting his EXP, he's getting that right up to level 6. And he will have a little bit more impact in comparison to game 1. So a solid foundation for Execration. Just changing things up slightly, executing a lot cleaner here. They are, you know, they still have to reach that point where they start to hit these item beats, hit these level spikes. Tundra, they're not really too far behind. Like, even with those stats, even with a slight net worth lead, you are still working the map well enough, and you're just waiting for your own levels. You're waiting for that 15-minute mark for Saksa down the line. You've got a lot of power spikes left.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Little Sunray up. Bob
Ooh.
actually going to miss the swashbuckle. Has to go for Rolling Thunder, but no, does end up stopping. He doesn't have the shield crash available. Just thought that maybe Sneyking had landed himself on the high ground of that cliff, but it just was not the case. Pretty hard to land when it's completely blind anyway. Just had to guess. It was a 50-50 play. Well, Shanks is kind of waiting for an attempt onto Skitter's life top lane. Maybe they could try for the laner. He does have the Avalanche toss combo. Mid lane, Carlo's going to show up again. 9 has snowballed in, so they drop the Tombstone immediately, but they don't have the follow-up. They just want the 8-minute Power Rune. But Bob, it is just going to be an illusion anyway.
Not the biggest to play off of, but he is going to try to make his way up.
Shanks was chasing Skitter, but
Radiant's courier
Skitter just
has
walks
been
away,
killed.
gets the courier. In goes Shanks again with the avalanche toss combo. Saksa is around the corner, but Bob's got the rolling thunder already going, so they might have a kill onto this Lina. Skitter is still trying to juke and jive his way out of this one, but there's no way to do it. Bob will secure the kill on the Penguin.
You're simply in my way.
A nice big win. They're suppressing 9 Skitter this time around. They're getting some successful rotations. They're building up on Tino. They're punishing for how passive this Ricky support can be. Sneyking works his way back up, but it's just a bit too late, and you're leaving 33 alone again. Like, Palos just gets to run down, still has the freest farm in the world, is going for that Battle Fury timing now. And he's uncontested. And he's just going to hit that Battle Fury at a really good time, maybe around 10 minutes. Or 11 to 12 minutes actually, and once that's up and running, he can keep up pace with Alina's farm. They can drag this game out, get aggressive with Bob and Tino instead, and just have this Monkey King scale.
Top lane. T1 gone. Tundra, they have grouped up. There are 3 heroes around, but it's kind of hard to make a jump in when you've got supports like Ricky Phoenix at 9.5 minutes.
Death's bounty.
No proper stun to set up here for the Lina. It seems like Execration, they are going to stick around for that tier 1 top. Scan is out as well. Skitter currently being chased down by Bob. No rolling thunder to be popped yet. Bob just kind of pump faking now against Skitter. Eventually does commit it, but it might be to just get away here from 9, who has shown up on the task. Bit of an escape here with the rolling thunder. Oh, does bounce the wrong way, but it won't matter. He's all right.
Yep. Not the longest cooldown to expend. They are dragging that Lina away early from the lane. You do have decent jungle farm to build up though. They catch Carlo out.
Dire's bottom
They have got Carlo on the Undying. That'll be a nice pickup to the side of Tundra, but can they get themselves out of here? The Tombstone is still going. I think this won't do too much damage. Meanwhile, Tino top lane does find Sneyking. You find yourself a nice support trade across the map. Skitter trying his best to continue defending, but Shanks is moving in with an avalanche toss combo, and Skitter, he got a little bit greedy for that small camp and will get punished by Tino. A double kill to go the way of the Visage. And Execration off to a very, very strong start. 7-2 their way.
And it's almost like the start we were seeing out from Tundra. They get off to this rolling start for Tino. They're able to really utilize Shanks and that Tiny with a burst damage and the Soul Assumption stacking up. And they can just run down. They're making moves onto Bob. He is fairly low here. He's got protection of his tier 1. Very fire, just barely enough to leave him alive there as well.
Saksa, he might keep chasing for this. He's got the Blink Strike left. Bob spamming those voice lines at the moment. Still just trying to run, and it seems like Saksa will not be able to keep up. Just get some deep wards down while he's at it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And still the tier 1 tower is being focused here by the side of Execration up at top lane, but it seems like 33 now will rotate. And with the tide there, chances are you are not going to be able to get that tier 1 anytime soon.
Yeah, they're just putting a big body forward to prevent Execration from taking out too much map space. And they've got room to play with 9. And he is at level 9 now as well. Is working towards a death, so he wants to start to ramp up some of these kills on the softer targets. Issue is, there aren't that many squishy targets. Undying could be your best bet with no decay stacks. Shanks can be a bit durable now with a grow up, so he's got some armor in hand. He can cop through a bit of that physical output on the Walrus Punch, and they're just forced to TP away. The rotation from 9 just doesn't amount to much. And Execration with a really strong bounce back early on. I mean, this is just so much room for Palos. It's kind of ridiculous how much this Monkey King's been allowed to just farm into the battlefield with no punishment. Like, you could have gotten a Tusk rotation earlier on.
New Mastery, he will proc it, has the balance available, Saksa, he pops the tricks of the trade, but they have the stun. Palos, I mean, you kind of mentioned it, John, he's having a real fantastic time now on the MK. Top of the net worth board, just complete free farm, 2 kills on the board for himself. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to stop him anytime soon. He's going to have a pretty decent Battle Fury timing, considering he did go for the treads and all the Orb of Corrosion. And it just, yeah, in terms of slowing him down, you just haven't got the draft right now for Tundra to make that happen.
No, they're just playing a lot more passive. They're wanting this build-up, and they've got the Dominator up in 33, so they could maybe get a useful creep up front and try to harass out. But they're dropping your supports.
Sneyking just going down once again on the Phoenix. 9 is around, but he'd be a massive kill if Execration saw him. He's currently completely alone. They will not spot him out though. He's going to be just fine to back his way out. Meanwhile, in the Radiant Triangle, Saksa is currently just stalking
Dire's
Tino.
middle tower is under attack.
Maybe just trying to snipe that ancient camp. Tino is dropping a little bit low to be fair, and there you go. Saksa, he will reveal himself, takes a creep, and just runs his way out. Not much you can do about it. Tino is going to try for a bit of a chase, but he doesn't even have detection for this.
Radiant are scanning.
Amazing what you found today.
He knows he's there.
Oh, he got
There's
dust.
dust out now, but there is help incoming. Nine's going to join in. Tino, he's stuck around too long. It's a big swashbuckle. Rolling Thunder is there. Egg is out as well. Looks like he has caught the Ricky and the shards in the staircase as well, but Saksa, he is just fine.
Radiant's top tower is under
Very
attack.
split team fight so far. Sneyking will Icarus dive out. Shanks, he will chase down the Ricky, and eventually they will catch Saksa. But it does cost them a lot of rotations for that support Ricky.
Yeah, it's not the kill you'd want to take there, but you did force out Egg. Snaking's not going to have that for this next follow-through fight. You don't have to roll as well, so you can't really use this jump
Dire's
onto
bottom
9.
tower is
But just
under
knowing
attack.
Egg is down gives Execration a lot of room to breed. They know there's not going to be a major threat in these team fights for a while. They're not going to be connecting with 33 anytime soon to try to make a play on that. And 33 and Skid are all just farming up. They're sharing the same jungle space. Doesn't feel great for the Lina or the Tide. Kind of have to split these camps up, but their map, it does feel like it's shrinking just a bit with how aggressive Execration has been. They can line up for that top tier 1, and with Tino at the state he's at right now, level 9 with Vladimir's up, it's not going to take too long to melt it.
No, it certainly isn't. Take care of it by himself. No rotations to come in from Tundra. I'll just let this one go.
Top tower is under attack.
A lot of catch-up farm to be had here. Like Skidder right now, you look at his net worth, he's all the way in the middle. This has not been the Lina start you kind of expect. Rotations up top here from Exa. Maybe they find that Lina. No, it seems like Skidder's got the message that they are around. Just back his way out on that Lina. So Saksa sticks around, but it seems like the rotations are going to start coming onto the bot lane. Because 9 has been caught out. He's got plenty of help around the corner. 33 could jump in for a Ravage, but 9, he is being kind of left alone to die. He does go for a snowball, but
Wanted to fight no war, just
it only buys him a slight bit of time. And eventually 33, he just doesn't see it and
Radiant's
backs
middle
out of it.
tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Regeneration.
You have no reason to come in. You have no follow-up. You don't have the Phoenix around with the Egg. Your Lina's not going to be joining in these fights. You're still working your way onto the shard for Saksa. So you will have an additional support that can kind of run around with 9 here, try to set up some plays. But Execration are just so aggressive right now. They're going for another smoke out. Bob already has the Diffusal Blade up. Still has the roll ready to go. So just needs an opportunity to jump onto Skidder. With that slow up on the inhibit, and they can find another Lina kill. And again, just because of the map state, it's so hard for Skidder to break through and take control in terms of farm here.
Top lane, they have found Skidder. The Lina being caught out, Shanks with the avalanche toss, and plenty of damage to come out from Bob. 4K advantage now, Execration just in complete control of this game too. You might have been right, John. March may have had that talk with the boys. He wouldn't have been too happy after that game 1, I'll tell you. 33 now.
Yeah.
Bottom lane, he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he brought the slipper out, Mike. You bring the slipper out, you instill the fear onto any sort of Spanish influence, former Spanish colony. That's a tech. March, he's learned. He stopped with a whip. The whip just wasn't working all these years, Mike. The slipper, that's where it's at.
Nah. Absolutely.
I have
To
to
be
say,
fair,
I do.
Go on.
Yeah, he was. I do love the build-up on Palos. When we talked about the earlier build-up I talked about was like Echo Saber BKB, but if you're allowed to go Battle Fury into BKB, why not? You're gonna have a lot of presence. The only threat onto the Monkey King's life now is Egg, and that just doesn't feel like it's gonna be enough just yet. They are smoking out aggressively on Tundra Sin, though.
Radiant's bottom tower
They are.
is under attack.
What they can find out of this. They still put the shards up on Saksa, so they have some setup here with the sleeping dart. Sneyking with the egg up as well, though it is only level 1 at the moment, and it seems like Execration, realizing the advantage they have, they will move into that Roshan pit immediately. Massive objective for them to take. In Tundra, they could try to fight this, but they're so scattered right now, it just doesn't seem like they even have a chance. Shanks will run right into Sneyking as well, force the Icarus dive away. They know they just have no chance of fighting this one out. They're way too far behind. They'll have to let Roshan go the way of Execration. I mean, if you're Execration right now, you could not have asked for a better start to this game too. Oh, you look at Palos, he's almost at the Ags. I mean, it's so much fun on this MK.
They just left him alone. Like last game, we saw Tino have a really atrocious lane. This time, 33's had a really bad time. Like his lane just got stopped. He was left alone. His Ricky can't really contribute there. They're trying not to Bob here though.
And the big pickoffs they can find it. Bob, Ravage even being committed here from 33 to make sure Shanks cannot help out on the Tiny. They should have another. Shanks will drop. That's a big one. Tundra, something they desperately needed. Now they can move into the T1 mid tower. They'll have their way with that too. 9 will take it.
They've got the numbers.
Palos. Sleeping Dart is out, not expecting the rotations, but he gets the BKB off in time. Still Skiter has plenty of damage to pump out, but there's your TP away. And Palos, he will be just fine.
Yeah, you still force out the BKB on the Monkey King. You don't manage to find the Aegis. So you'll have another opportunity to use that secondary life with a BKB for Palos. But first charge going that way, definitely not what you want to see. And Tundra is starting to find some ways of forcing out certain tools from Execration, finding some punishment, especially that kill earlier on Bob. And 33's got the blink, so they've got some setup to play with here, although...
They've got 9 again. Yeah, he's still the biggest target you can aim for on Tundra right now. He's the highest net worth. In fact, now Skiter does take over that net worth on the side of Tundra. Still, just a massive pick-off for Execration. And lines are being drawn out through the mid lane and through the bottom lane. They want to start pressuring those T2 towers. And considering the lead that they have right now, I think they could still get away with it. Like, you've got the Aegis up for another 3 minutes on Palos. So they could certainly go for the risk. Execration will move into that T2 mid tower now. Tundra, it's kind of a struggle to know how you defend this. Without the Ravage up on 33, it may just be impossible.
Radiant's top tower.
You really want to connect with that Ravage egg. Sneyking does have the egg ready if you want to toss it out, but it just doesn't feel as effective without the setup. So you're just going to have to back off. They don't fully commit. Palos isn't around on mid, but they've done a good amount of damage onto that tier 2. As they're just finding control, finding aggression. They're using that vision from Palos really nicely. He's jumping the tree line. They're going for the bot tier 2 now. And you still don't have the solution from Tundra. Ravage is going to be off in a few seconds, 15 seconds away. They could have that angle, but they're not even clumping up for it. Knowing that with the Aegis up, you only have one team fight combo, and once that's gone, Palos has free reign.
Dire's bottom tower.
Palos will get the T2 bottom tower. They left the mid tower alone. They could just go back for it if they really want to, and it seems like Palos does. He does show up right by the T2 tower. Rest of his team right behind him as well, just smoked up, ready to go whenever.
Radiant's top tower is under
For now,
attack.
they're on the hunt. They want heroes to take down, not towers. They're going to run into 33. Bob, Rolling Thunder, it's going to be popped. He's still in the smoke, so he does go for the blink right into the tide. 33 not quite expecting this, realizing he's just going to die. He won't even move, he'll just take his punishment.
Melron will need to find a new thing.
Execration, they're just not slowing down. Even getting lucky now with a double damage rune for Bob. You couldn't ask for much
Dire's
more.
middle tower is under attack.
They've got control. They're doing the exact same thing Tundra did last game. Just shut down the map, prevent any sort of build-up. Still have some scaling coming through. Like, you're only 3 to 4k behind for Tundra. It's not the biggest gap, so it's not unplayable. But we saw Execration in that same state last game as well. As long as Execration can force more objectives and start to force this high ground issue, that's where things can get a little bit scary for Tundra. We haven't seen that connection of Ravage Egg yet. We haven't seen 9 really pop off with that Desolator up and running. Need to go Bob.
Bob's very forward.
Ooh.
He will roll up. He's still okay for now, trying to swashbuckle away, but the chase is on Skiter. He will land the stun, and immediate Laguna comes out.
It's the humiliation.
Bob. I'm just not sure about that. He was just by the mid tier 2 tower of the Dire.
Yeah, pretty far forward, just looking for a little bit of aggressive farm. The side of Execration's ready for a bit of a turnaround fight, but Ravage and Egg are available.
Could be a massive turnaround for Tundra. Palos does reveal himself, trying to protect that outpost. Sneyking, of course, backing off once he sees the Monkey King.
Radiant's middle
Tundra
tower
are sitting
is under
underneath the
attack.
rather the Radiant Vision right now as well, mind you.
Top tower is under attack.
There is an observer ward watching them as we speak. Execration,
Radiant's middle
the Aegis
tower
is expiring.
under attack.
They will try to back their way out safely. And it seems like they'll probably get away with it.
Yep. Not gonna get caught out. Just cut their losses. Farm elsewhere. Try to build up. Palos is still hanging around the area though. Just looking to get an ambush off. Skiter could be a big target if he steps too far forward.
Yeah, mid lane 9. Show himself, but he's going to be okay. But the regen room from himself on the Ricky. Immediate smoke up. Tundra want the fight.
Radiant's bottom tower
Top lane, there is a bit of
under
action
attack.
breaking out though. Skiter forced to pop his BKB to get away from Palos. He won't have the laner involved in this next team fight, and Tundra, it's a question of whether they want to still try to force this fight with the smoke they popped. And 9 seems to want to go. He moves into that Radiant Triangle, he'll find himself a target, and it's gonna be Bob. That mid Pango getting deleted just solo by 9. With the Deso up, he just has so much damage.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah,
under
you don't have
attack.
any stats on Bob. With that Diffusal and Arcane Boots, he just doesn't have the HP to tank through. Once the shorts and the punches out with the Deso, he just can't survive. Last time he survived a lot longer because he got the roll up, but he can't get that off. The burst is on hand, and Tundra, they drag this game back to an even state, less than 1k lead for Execration. They find a top tier 2, huh?
Avalanche is out. Wukong's command, not out by Palos, but a very nice boundless going to land on 2 targets. Still, they get the egg off. Sneyking, he's alright for now. Can they protect him? It seems like they just may, as Palos cannot get it done in time. Drew dive out of there. The BKB about to wear off, so 33 goes right for the Raptor. 33, he's dying to the Wukong's command. The statue takes him out. They even lose Sneyking anyway. And Bob will pop the Rolling Thunder, pacing for more. They found Saksa on the Ricky. They even found 9 on the Tusk. That's the big one. 9, he has the snowball up, he has the blink away. Skiter will just TP right away as 9, still being chased down, does pop the snowball, trying to do as much as he possibly can. Maybe kill off Bob, but he cannot. That's 4 down for the side of Tundra. And it all goes back to that Wukong's command, like you just can't fight in that. Palos is dealing way too much damage.
He just counteracts a lot of it. You don't have that much magical on hand. He got the BKB with the Wukongs. So even if the egg pops, he's not taking any from the Phoenix. He's not melting from the Sunray. He's not melting from the Fire Spirits. He's just able to hold his ground and dish that damage out on his own. And Execration take that lead back. 4K up their way. Full pipe up and running on Tino, blocking off even more of that magical burst. They've got the angle mid. They know the teamfight spells are gone.
Shanks, that's a big avalanche. He had 2 targets with the Shadow Blade away. He's going to allow Skiter to relocate, reposition, but Palos, he will start off. Maybe they can chase them down after this, but the BKB, Skitter's going to be okay. Saksa, he will be the sacrificial lamb. Oh, Execration. They smell blood in the water. Tundra on the back foot right now. We'll go back to the high ground. Not out of this game yet, but 5k behind, 26.5 minutes in. And it seems like for Execration, the main play right now is probably the next Roshan, which isn't about 35 seconds. It's not too long away.
Yeah, they've got control in the area. That is going to give some time for Tundra to get some of their teamfight tools back. You will have Ravage within 10 seconds once Roche is back up. So you're going to have some tools to fight in that tight area again. But they need to find a way to jump Palos first. If this Monkey King is allowed to pop its BKB, it is just a menace in the middle of these fights. He's going for the full Daedalus as well. So his output is just going to skyrocket.
Rolling Thunder. Bob connected. Bob protecting himself. It's actually 9 that gets caught out here on the Tusk, though he does go for a snowball back the way of Tino, but they have the avalanche to make sure 9 goes absolutely nowhere. And Bob, he brings out the tips. Here we go.
Oh my god. Into the rush. Big pick off from them. The side of Tundra should know that's happening, but they're so far away from it. They're not going to be able to run up to that pit in time. And they get a good scan as well to spot Saksa. Bob, eyeing for an opportunity.
Radiant's bottom tower
And he
under
is.
attack.
In the meantime, bottom tier 2 tower is being forced in by skiter. So Tundra is still trying to find as much as they possibly can while this Roshan is going to go the way of Execration. They've got the Roshan. T2 bottom tower in the meantime did not drop. They just didn't have the damage output for it. And Execration, they'll try to head up towards that top lane. Palos now with a full Daedalus up.
Invisibility.
Absolutely huge on the Monkey King. Kind of unkillable at the moment, really, unless you throw everything at him. And even then, he may not die. Jump in, Palos. He'll get started on the tier 3 tower, but they will slow it down with the sleeping dart and the smoke screen into the tendrils, and now the snowball. Sunray going as well, but Palos is still alive. Will turn back around and it's got 9. Laguna will at least get the Aegis. That's 1 life. But like I said, John, they basically threw everything at him.
Are fortified.
Palos, do you stick around? The answer is yes. A nice fluff.
Oh my god.
He's gonna find the Lina.
Dire's
That's
top
huge.
tower is under
Skitter is
attack.
down without buyback.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They can't play around the eggs. They can't play the ground combo.
Ravage.
Try.
33, he pops the Ravage, the tendrils are there, they do find Palos at the very least, the Monkey King is going to go down. 33 should drop right behind him though, and he will as Bob. Bob will clean up along with Shanks. These tossbacks from Shanks just proving to be so effective. And even without Palos up, they may still be able to secure another tier 3 tower and maybe even another Axe.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They've got to push for it. Even with these buybacks that can be committed, you don't have that Ravage Egg combo anymore. The Lina and the Tusk can still do some good damage, but you're just stalling. You're keeping Creepwave shoved forward for that Monkey King to come back into.
Sleeping dart on Bob. They don't really have much structured damage apart from Tino, who's trying to get it done, but it seems like they are going to back off. They're going to play it safe. 1 racks up Execration. Tundra will appreciate them backing right now, as they don't want to lose another tier 3 tower if they can avoid it. But Execration, they're just going to go back to controlling that dire jungle. Nice scan though, allows Skitter to have the information to back off, or rather go in, because the rest of Tundra are there to back him up. They'll move on to Tino, trying to blow up the Visage, and they do get it. Nice quick kill for Tundra. That'll allow them to finally take back this outpost.
Finding a pretty good pick off on that port, you know. Worth a decent chunk of gold. Doesn't have anything too protective, and he's got the auras up, but nothing like a BKB to help himself, or an Aeon Disc to just survive through. So the burst damage play is still online for Tundra. But now Palos is back up. You've got the full BKB up for 9 though, so he has protection in the middle of these fights. Can do a lot more, just snowballing around and diving in with a blink. Execration, have to be a bit careful, don't want to bleed out here.
They smoke up. Saksa, he was right around the corner, but not close enough to break the smoke. Execration, they can still have a chance to sneak around and try to get to the other side of that Radiant jungle. Want to get to that right side where you know Tundra are, but Tundra, they back off at the right moment. Tino will show himself in that mid wave, trying to bait them forward. 9, we'll see if he wants to take it. Smoke broken. They'll see them in the mid lane. Dust is out. They're going to spot Saksa, but he will blink away. Bob not going to be able to land with the Shivers Guard. Seems like Exa, they'll just keep going through the mid lane. Try to force Tundra
Radiant's
back.
bottom tower
And then
is under attack.
Skitter is taking the bottom tier 2 tower. But they can force the whole side of
Radiant's
Tundra back to
bottom
defend
tower
this mid racks. And the
Dire's
scan is going to reveal they are on their way.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They've got the Ravage Egg combo. This team fight can work in Tundra's way, and Execration much more disciplined. They don't force the issue. They back off. They find a pick off before taking this fight. That could be massive for them. They've got the high ground now.
Radiant's has been killed.
Nice juke out from Bob, avoiding that sleeping dart. Doesn't seem like Execration want to risk taking the team fight right now. They'll back off with a 10k advantage. Mind you, Skitter's done a very good job of catching up to
Tino.
net worth. Tino Let's get caught. In fact, never mind. They're on to Ricky instead. Saksa, he's the one to get caught and he's the one to go down. 9, he gets diffused up. That's your mid-tusk in trouble as Palos. He's going to jump in after 9 and look at the damage output. It's just way too high. But where's the follow-up? 9, he'll get the snowball up in time, but he's going to go right back to Bob and they will secure the kills. Now the Ravage comes in 33, only lands on 1. And Tino, he had the stone form anyway. He's perfectly fine through it. They missed their whole combination. Besides the Vice, it's going to lock down Palos for a moment, but it's not going to be enough. They need to back out of there. Tundra, this isn't the fight they needed. Skitter's trying to run, but Tino's on the chase, getting his sweet, sweet revenge. Takes down the Lina. Tundra, 4 down. They do have buybacks available on the Lina. They call it GG. Called Execration. A pretty rough game 1, but they come back in game 2 stronger. And I'll tell you what, John, you and I, we had no faith in this draft they brought out, but my God, March, I don't know what he said to the boys, but he got them back into shape.
Yeah, look, I'll show you the March technique